Hi, I'm Sifu Kuttel, and in this video we're going to be focusing on a technique for the Tai Chi Flute to block and then kick. The technique in this video may seem quite simple. We're simply going to begin with a blocking technique to provide an opening to follow up with a kick. Now, we do have a lot more that's going on here, so pay close attention to weight distribution and hip position as we take our pivoting step to set up. Now, we'll also be talking a little bit more about what we can be using the flute for to block. Now, this could be against a weapon, it could be against a punch, and it could be against a kick. So grab your flute, let's get to work. Let's begin the technique from the play the fiddle position. We're going to have our left leg back, flute forward, heel resting on the ground, and then our back hand back by the elbow. Now, this can be considered similar to a ready position. We're light on the front leg in case we need to move it, but yet we're loose and ready to move in advance or to strike wherever we need to or block so we can adapt to our opponent. So from our first position, or play the fiddle position, I'm going to tip the flute down, and then I want to think of bringing it across the body. So the tip comes down and then I pull across as if I'm drawing a line in the dirt in front of me, okay, on the ground. Now at the same time, I'm going to pivot my foot, so I'll raise, step, and almost go into a twisting stance, okay? Keep the flute forward as we do this. So pivot, pull, and then now my back leg is nice and light. I'm able to raise up and then throw a kick. So as I do this, I keep my flute back. My palm is resting next to the wrist. Okay? So if I'm facing towards you, notice I bring the flute across. It points down. It's not too far out to the side. I raise up and kick. Nice and simple. If I'm facing towards this side, from play the fiddle position, pivot, pull, up, and kick. Okay, now, this can be used in quite a few different ways. We can actually use this in more of an attack to attack context. So from a ready position, I can think of using this first downward movement as more of a whipping strike to hit down towards the knee. So if my opponent is nice and close, I can whip downward, hit, and then follow up with that kick. Now, kicking can go anywhere depending on if we've knocked the arm out of the way, or we've pushed an arm or a leg, or we went in for that strike, whatever's available. So kick low towards the shin, towards the groin, towards the tummy, towards the solar plexus, and we can even go all the way up to the head. Although remember, when you're kicking up high, your balance decreases. So I would say keep it at a medium level at highest and lower, okay? Now, in a blocking context, this could be weapon to weapon. Somebody's trying to attack, they're going in for a thrust, maybe they have a knife, maybe they have a stick and they're trying to strike. We're going to do a quick whipping block, and then once we push that weapon out of the way, we follow up with the kick. If my opponent is throwing a low technique, like a kick, I can use this to block and pull their leg, whip and redirect it out of the way. If that's the case, I keep my hand nice and low here. Then I follow up with the kick. If they're punching high, I'm going to have to raise my hand up, but it should be in a position where my hand is almost even with theirs. So if they're punching where my hand is or they're punching higher, I can still use this to slap their hand out of the way and then follow up with that kick. So you have lots of different options from just a simple two-step technique from play the fiddle, a ready position, block and pull and kick. Now you can see how this technique can apply to different heights of striking and different types of striking. If our opponent has a weapon, like a knife or a stick, or if they're trying to punch us or kick us, or even if they're trying to move in and grab, we have opportunities to use this exact same motion to deal with a range of attacks. Now, of course, following up with the kick is important that we make sure we have good hip positioning so we can promote good balance. So really pay attention to that pivoting step as we move in with that first block. We're really trying to set it up so we get good hip extension for that kick. And as always, make sure as we go higher, you have a better control of your balance. When we're practicing and we're doing Tai Chi, you move slow, you can help develop those stabilizer muscles. When you practice faster, you can understand the actual feeling of power in real-time motion. But it's all different once you have to apply this against something. Even if you were to use this kick against a heavy punching bag, you would notice a difference in your positioning. So I encourage you to try that, because if you get into a situation where somebody's trying to punch or kick or strike you, and you have to use this for self-defense, kicking higher may not be the best option. There's a lot of stress and there's a lot of variables going on. There's arms and legs and maybe even weapons moving around. So keep it simple, keep it safe, and keep your mind on application as you're doing the form, because it will give you a new dimension in your training, what we like to call intention. Okay, so you have the idea, your body will naturally set up as if it was actually going to use this against a punch, kick, or a weapon strike. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next.